Today on Steven's tutorial, we are going to make some jeans. We're going to dye them, cut them, sew them, and make them our own. So stay tuned. It's going to be pretty cool. So start off by finding a pair of jeans. I found a $10 pair of jeans from Walmart. Normally I find denim from St. Vinny's or Goodwill, but this pair happened to fit absolutely perfect, so I wouldn't have to make any alterations in the future. So, perfect. So some things we'll need to make this happen are a pair of jeans, a cup of salt, a tablespoon of dish soap, and a bottle of Rit black fabric dye. I'm gonna take these grayish jeans and dye them pretty dark. Make them black. Dye them a little darker. You'll need a tub to dye the jeans in. Take that tub and fill it up with 3 gallons of burning hot water. Just take your faucet, crank it up as high as it goes. You should be good. Pour in a cup of salt and a tablespoon of dish salt. And pour as much fabric dye in as desired. The more you pour in, the darker your jeans will get, or your fabric will get. So I poured in about 3/4 of the bottle, hopefully turning them pretty dark. You can always test the color by sticking in a paper towel and pulling it out. I'll show you how dark it's gonna be or how light it's gonna be. Add more dye if you want it darker, or add more water if you want it a little lighter. I think this looks pretty dark, pretty good, so I'm gonna leave it the way it is. Next, take your jeans and toss them in. Then give them a stir for about 10 minutes, making sure the jeans are fully wet with dye. After you're done stirring, it's time to let the jeans set and soak. The longer the jeans soak, the more contrasted or vibrant the color will be. I wanted these to be pretty dark, so I left them in for about an hour. After time's up, take them to a sink and wash them out. You want to get rid of all the excess dye, so keep running the water until most of the dye has ran out and the water runs clear. This was actually super tedious and took forever. I don't think I needed to wash it that long. I think you can just stick them in the washer and you'll be fine. But I wanted to try and get as much dye out first before I stuck them in the washer. I recommend putting on gloves because the dye actually turns your hands black. I learned this soon after. So after your hands are tired, take your jeans, try not to spill anywhere, throw them in the washer, set washer to cold, and give them a good rinse. Dry those bad boys up, and now you've got a cool pair of black jeans. So check them out. I think they turned out pretty cool. I wish they were a little bit darker, but apparently you can buy some color stay dye from Rit that keeps the color from bleeding out so much, but I think they turned out pretty good. I'm pretty satisfied. So next up, I wanted to take some fabric and sew some racing stripes down the side. I found this checkered print at Hobby Lobby for 2 yards for about $1.80, so I thought it'd look pretty cool. So some things you'll need to make this happen are your pair of jeans, some fabric, a sewing machine, some scissors, a tape measure, some thread, and some pins. I always cuff my jeans, so I thought it'd be cool to sew in a permanent cuff on each leg. I took the tape measure and measured about 2 inches on each side. Then, the most important part about sewing is pinning. Pin along each leg to make sure the fabric stays in place. Then, bring it over your sewing machine and get to sewing. Remove pins one by one as you continue sewing. When you're done, cut the excess thread. And voila, the perfect permanent cuff. Now let's measure out how much fabric we're gonna need to cut from the checker pattern. Lay the legs flat on the table and measure away. The legs look to be about 35 inches long, and I wanted the fabric or racing stripe to be about 2.5 to 3 inches wide. So I measured it out and carefully marked with a pen. It was pretty easy with the checkered pattern because you could just follow the lines. Cut away and you're set. I wanted to make this process simple as possible, without cutting the jeans. So my plan was to take the racing stripe and sew it right on top of the already made jeans. Iron the rough edges over, so when you sew the racing stripe to the top of the jean, you don't see any fraying. Take the jeans to the sewing machine and get ready to sew on the racing stripe. Or wait. Okay. This is where I realized I totally screwed up, and in order to make this more efficient and quicker, I didn't take the time to think it through and realize the sewing machine wouldn't make it through the leg, making it inevitable to cut the jeans. What can I say? It's been over a year since I've sewed anything. I thought I was gonna outsmart the clock, but clearly not. So go back and undo the perfect cuffs you made before with a seam ripper. Take your scissors and cut down the outside seam of the leg. After doing so, you will have cut open part of the pocket. Take the pocket to the sewing machine and sew up the piece that is open. Since the fabric was no longer going to be on top of the jeans, I decided I wanted to go back and cut a new piece so I could double it up to make it thicker. Cut your same 3 inches, but then double that, making it 6. Give it a quick iron to smooth it out. Now since you're adding an extra 2.5 to 3 inches of fabric to the actual pants, you need to compensate for that by cutting out some of the leg. Resew the pocket back up, pin the checkered stripe on so that the front side of the fabric is facing the front side of the jeans. Pin the right side of the stripe flush with the pair of jeans. Place in the sewing machine and sew. I then flipped it over and ran a line down one more time. Flip the jeans over and remove the back belt loop with the seam ripper. Be careful not to tear it because you'll be reattaching it later. Match up the remaining edge of the stripe to the remaining edge of the pants. Pin down the leg and then sew. I've been stopping about 4 to 5 inches before the end of the leg because I'm still going to do that permanent cuff at the end. Check it out. I think it's looking pretty good. Now fold over the remaining fabric over the top of the pants, pin, and sew. Now let's try to get that cuff back. For this, I'm going to fold back that same 2-inch cuff, sew it up again, and then sew the fabric along the side as well. I'm actually not going to fold back the checkered fabric. I think it's going to add a different look where that's not folded, but the cuff is. I think it'll be kind of cool. Fold over the checkered fabric like you did at the top of the pants, and sew. Take a seam ripper and remove any of the stray strands sticking through. Sweet. One leg's done. Now just do the same thing over again on the other side of the pants. Nice. And after you're all done, find the back belt loops that you cut off before and sew them right back on where they were. Your jeans are pretty much all done. A little extra step I did to fully customize these pants and make them my own was take a vinyl cutter and cut out a few tags, pressed them on, and you couldn't even tell these pants were from Walmart. 447 Gangland Palace, that's the name we dubbed our new apartment we just moved in. Gang gang. And there you go, your brand new pair of customized pants. Fully sewed, fully dyed, they look super cool. I like them, I think they turned out pretty cool. So take them outside, have your friend snap a couple pics with their new camera, Mark. Take a little lookbook video, and there you go. I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I've been sewing for a long time, or I like to sew, but I haven't done it since like the first vlog I ever made, because I had been living in my car for 2 years. I'd like to thank Brian, aka Schmood, for inspiring this tutorial. I like the style of his videos, and he's a good friend, so I thought I'd give this a shot. Let me know if you guys would like some more Steven's tutorials in the future. If you watch for a minute, go below and click on it, like and subscribe, check back tomorrow. Stay cool.